Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller is here. And we don't need to remind you of this, but he's one of the most prolific sack artists currently going in the game. His 106 career sacks, second most among active NFL players, only behind Terrell Suggs, who happens to be playing this Sunday. And not only that, but he's the proud owner, of course, of that Super Bowl MVP award for his work against the Panthers in Super Bowl 50. Von, we're so glad that you're here. Thanks for being with us.
I'm happy to be here.
We're so glad that you can be with us here thanks to the new Old Spice Ultra Smooth line, which is in stores now. And I want to talk about that Super Bowl 50 against the Panthers. Just what is that moment like, and what the Chiefs and the 49ers are about to embark on being in a game that big? Because it is different, right?
Yeah, it's like a heavyweight championship fight, and you get 2 weeks to prepare for this team, and you're going to know everything about them. It's about who's going to rise up in the lights and who's going to step down. And, you know, I'm a firm believer in that. The dogs really show themselves when the lights come on.
No doubt. It's a different challenge for you guys. Obviously, Mahomes is more of a prolific passer, but when you play Carolina, obviously with Cam and his ability to move and what we've seen from Pat here recently, being able to scramble out of the pocket, what was the conversation like with your four guys up front when your rush playing?
We just wanted to be sound. We didn't want to give him lanes. We knew he would make lanes for himself. Like, he's a great player, and he's going to get runs. We just wanted to limit those runs and really just be in his face and make him throw in the pocket. And he's good in the pocket as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, me and DeMarcus, we just talked about, you know, being solid and being consistent.
Yeah, you are in the same division as Patrick Mahomes. So you play him twice a year, every year. So I think there's nobody better to ask on how you guys prepare and how you guys try to contain a guy like that than you. So what is the plan? If you're in the meeting room with Saleh and those 49ers D-line, what are you telling them to prepare for this game?
Man, it's tough. We haven't beat the guy. We haven't beat the guy. I don't know what to tell you guys, but if anybody's up for the job, then it's the San Francisco 49ers. They got 5 first-round picks that's on the defensive line, starting with Nick Bosa and ending with Solomon Thomas. They got great players up front. I think that'll be the difference in this game.
We're in a situation now where we're looking at that D-line, and this is the first time in a little while where I think going into the game, there might be another guy like you who could get an MVP in this situation. What do you think looking at this game?
Yeah, I mean, you got Frank Clark and you got Dee Ford and you got Eric Armstead. You got all these guys that could possibly have a great game. They will have great games. It'll just come down to whose offense will rise up or step down.
I played with D-Ware. I understand what both of y'all animals are, right? So how much pressure are you putting on yourself to affect the game? Like, you were the MVP of the game, but I don't know if you went into the game saying I need to be the defensive MVP for us to win, but how much pressure did you feel there?
Honestly, I didn't feel any pressure. That was the one game where I wasn't nervous. I always get nervous. It doesn't matter if we're playing the Oakland Raiders or that was a shot right there.
I appreciate it. He's not scared.
It doesn't matter if we're playing the Oakland Raiders or the Patriots. You know, I always get nervous, and before the Super Bowl, I just remember having a nervous feel.
Why would that be?
I don't know what it was. I think it was just the preparation. And
confident.
We played 2 good games coming into the Super Bowl, and I just felt confident with my quarterback. I felt confident with the defense and everybody around us.
Yeah, let's talk about your Broncos team. It seems, though, you have found the quarterback of the future in Drew Lock. Just what are your expectations for your squad going into next season?
I just want Drew to be Drew and continue to build on what he's already started. The only thing that you can take over to the next season is experience. You know, you can't take the record, you can't take the picks, you can't take the stats. You can take experience, though, and Drew and all the young guys on our team definitely got a lot of experience this year.
How does it feel being the vet? Like, how has your role changed?
Man,
because you had a lot of guys that could take you under their wing early in your career. What's the transition like?
It's weird. It's definitely weird. You know, I'll be walking by a locker, and it's a young guy who's 21, 20, and I'm like, bro, what are y'all talking about? You know, they playing Uno and all. Uno is a great game, but it's just,
I like Uno.
It's just the older you get, the more like you feel. I don't think it's on the game. I don't think it's really my play. I feel like in the locker room, just being there for so many years, that's what I really feel.
What do you think happens in this game?
In the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
I think the 49ers defense and their defensive line will step up. And that's if it's a team that can take Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs down, it's got to be the 49ers. They got 5 defensive linemen that were taken in the first round. They got Richard Sherman. They got a lot of guys with experience. And they're a hot team right now.
Who are you rooting for? Like, being at the Chiefs are in the same division. Once you get in the game, something like you start to root for somebody. Are there players or friends you have on the teams that you want?
Man, I want Frank Clark and Dee Ford to have great games. I really don't want the Chiefs to win, you know, because they're the rivals. But You know, it really doesn't matter. I just want to see guys perform and have success.
Thank you so much, Von Miller, for joining us. Super Bowl 50 MVP. We're so glad to have been able to spend some time. Yeah.
It wasn't a sponsor.
All right, we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes a little bit more now. And look, it is going to be tough to stop this guy, the reigning MVP, looking to add a Super Bowl to his already unprecedented resume. You might not know that he thrives against defenses just like the one that the 49ers play. So this season, including the playoffs, now through more touchdowns against zone coverage than Patrick Mahomes, and no quarterback had a higher raw QBR. Not only that, but Mahomes was top 10 in pass yards per attempt, and completion percentage as well. So Dan Orlovsky, teach us exactly what we should be looking for here.
All right, here with Lewis. We talked all week that the Chiefs are going to see this cover 3 defense for the 49ers. First of all, what is cover 3? All right, the 3 defensive backs, they play deep field, zone, vision on the quarterback. 4 guys underneath are responsible for that intermediate area. Break the field into quarters. They have about 10 to 15 yards, vision on the quarterback. So what to watch for in this game is how Andy Reid flushes or floods all those zones. Now, they played the Chargers, who have a similar cover 3 structure this year, and you can see some of the things that Andy Reid did in that game that he's going to do in the Super Bowl. Cover 3, safety back to middle of the field. Flat defender go out wide. That inside linebacker. Vision right now on Kelsey is number 2. Kelsey's going to run an inside seam to that backside linebacker. Sammy Watkins comes in motion, comes back across the field. Now he's going to be the guy that flushes that flat defender out, and Shady McCoy is now going to get leverage on that inside linebacker in his hook zone to break away from. Easy throw for Patrick Mahomes. We see it again in a 2x2 set, 2 receivers on each side, Shady backside. When you condense the formation, the rules change. You go post and wheel. That is going to force the corner to carry the post and the safety to go back and cover that wheel. Shady comes from the right side of the formation to the left. You vacate that zone, and then it gives an easy completion for Patrick Mahomes as you have flushed all of that area. So we see the Chiefs attack that cover 3 against the Chargers. It's going to be something very similar to watch for and how they do it against the 49ers.
You know what you saw in those 2 clips right there? If you watch Travis Kelce, you saw all the players as far as their releases coming off the line. Did you see anybody touch them? Did you see anybody jam them? Did you see anybody cause any kind of disruption for them so they couldn't clear out zones, so they couldn't create space by how quickly they get downfield? No, you didn't. I'll tell you this, if the 49ers do the same thing, the results are going to be the same. Pat's going to put up big, big numbers. The way you slow down prolific passing attacks, and as a quarterback, Dan, you know this, if your receivers aren't where they need to be when you're ready to throw it to them, that's a problem. Because then what happens? That gives the rush some more time. So that the secondary, as much as we've talked about the defensive line in this game, the secondary and the linebackers play a key factor in this game. You have to knock these guys off. Because if you just let it be like 7-on-7 and it looks like a pass skeleton session out there, Pat is going to put up Star Wars numbers. He's going to get the MVP. He's going to get his $40 million a year, $45 million, $220 million contract, and he's going to be laughing and dancing. I don't know if you want that.
And the reality is if they're going to play that zone, he's the best guy moving people with his eyes.
Yeah.
And you have the best coach in the NFL of taking all 3, 4 guys of their offense and flooding that zone to make defenders wrong. And then you add on Patrick Mahomes and moving people with his eyes. It's a big-time challenge.
The word of this Super Bowl is called reroute and disruption. Do it, San Fran.
It's a death sentence. Ruddy, back to you.
It's pretty simple.
Do it, and then you're going to have Star Wars numbers.